Hello everyone, and welcome back to our channel, your home for bold, sharp, and sometimes cheeky takes on South African politics. If you're new here, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and leave your thoughts down in the comments because today's story is as dramatic as a soapy, as tense as a courtroom showdown, and as funny as politics can sometimes be when everyone pretends to be shocked at the obvious. So, here's the latest saga. President Cyril Ramaphosa is reportedly fuming at National Police Commissioner General Fannie Masemola. Why? Because Masemola has made the controversial call to keep hold of several political killings dockets instead of allowing prosecutions to move forward. He says the police need more time for comprehensive investigations. Ramaphosa, on the other hand, thinks enough is enough. He wants action. But as with everything in South African politics, this story isn't just about the dockets. It's about power, independence, and whether our leaders really believe in letting institutions do their jobs. Now, let's set the stage. KwaZulu-Natal has long been ground zero for political killings. From councillors to activists, the list of lives cut short by political violence is far too long. These killings don't just take people's lives, they destabilize entire communities, intimidate voters, and tilt the political playing field ahead of elections. For Ramaphosa, who's trying to convince the public that the ANC can still govern with integrity, the slow pace of justice is a nightmare. Every unsolved murder becomes another reminder that the state is either too weak or too unwilling to act. But here's the kicker. Tony Yengeni, an ANC veteran and never one to miss a fight, has come out swinging, this time at Ramaphosa himself. Yengeni blasted the president for sticking his nose into police matters, saying, "What has Ramaphosa got to do with police dockets?" According to Yengeni, this is a classic case of political interference. And if his words sound familiar, it's because the same accusation was thrown around back when Bekkie Mponotsi clashed with politicians over similar meddling. And let's be honest, Yengeni isn't wrong to raise the alarm. If politicians start picking and choosing which cases police should prioritize, then the idea of an independent justice system gets thrown out the window. Imagine a country where every docket needs presidential approval. At that point, you don't have a democracy, you have a reality show with the president as the director. Still, Ramaphosa's defenders argue he has a point. The pace of justice in political killings cases has been embarrassingly slow. Families wait years for closure. Communities live in fear. And perpetrators, emboldened by the state's inaction, walk around like untouchable celebrities. So while Yengeni might warn about interference, others see Ramaphosa's frustration as the desperate cry of a leader who knows that South Africa cannot afford more impunity. Let's not forget the timing here. The ANC is facing internal divisions so wide you could drive a convoy of blue-light SUVs through them. At the same time, the party is under fire for failing to deal with crime and corruption. And looming on the horizon are the 2026 municipal elections. KwaZulu-Natal, where political violence is at its worst, will be a critical battleground. Whoever controls the narrative around law and order, they will control more than just local councils, they'll control the mood of the nation. Civil society groups have also jumped into the fray. Many are backing Yengeni's warning, saying political meddling could further erode public trust in the police. Others, though, back Ramaphosa's frustration, pointing out that the endless delays in prosecuting political killings only fuel the perception that the state is protecting certain elites. And let's be real, this is South Africa. When it comes to perceptions of political protection, you don't have to look far to find examples. Masemola himself has kept his cool, repeating the standard line that the police will act without fear or favor. But the optics are bad. If the president is angry at the police commissioner, and veterans of his own party are angry at him for being angry, then what you have is not leadership, it's a Mexican standoff with everyone shouting at once. Here's the irony. Ramaphosa is often criticized for being too soft, too slow, too indecisive. And now that he's showing a bit of fire, he's being accused of overreach. It's almost as if the man can't win. Too quiet, and he's useless. Too loud, and he's interfering. Maybe that's the curse of being president in South Africa today. No matter what you do, someone will call you wrong. But make no mistake, this isn't just about Ramaphosa's image. It's about whether South Africa can ever break the cycle of political killings. Because if these cases drag on for years, the message to politicians who order hits is clear: you'll probably get away with it. That is a dangerous message for any democracy, especially one already struggling with corruption, poverty, and disillusioned voters. Now, let's inject a little humor here because South African politics often feels like dark comedy. Imagine Ramaphosa sitting in the union buildings, waiting for updates on the dockets, tapping his watch like a frustrated school principal. Meanwhile, Masemola is probably thinking, does the president think I'm running a fast food outlet? These are murder investigations, not KFC orders. And then there's Tony Yengeni, throwing shade from the sidelines, saying politicians should stop meddling, as if the ANC hasn't been meddling in everything from Eskom contracts to who gets the last slice of cake at a brunch meeting. But jokes aside, the standoff has exposed a deep contradiction in our democracy. On one hand, we demand decisive leadership. On the other, we demand institutional independence. And when the two collide, as they have now, we get chaos, accusations, and political theater. So, where does this all leave us? The presidency hasn't issued an official statement yet. Masemola insists the investigations will continue properly. Yengeni is probably sharpening his pen for another statement. And ordinary South Africans are left wondering if justice will ever come for the victims of political killings, or if these cases will gather dust like so many others. What we do know is that the debate isn't going away anytime soon. As the elections draw nearer, every killing, every arrest, and every delayed prosecution will be weaponized in the battle for power. And unless the police and the presidency can find a way to work together without stepping on each other's toes, South Africans may be forced to watch the tragedy of political violence turn into yet another endless season of political theater. That's the story for today. What do you think? Is Ramaphosa right to be angry? Or is Yengeni correct that politicians have no business interfering in police investigations? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with friends who enjoy a deep dive into the drama of South African politics. Thanks for tuning in, and as always, see you next time.